We have two presentations tonight, and I'm going to call the first resolution that we're going to be doing for one of our esteemed colleagues. This is P 50223. This is a resolution commending Sheriff Patrick A. Russo for his distinguished service to the residents of Rensselaer County. So I'm going to ask Pat and his family and friends to come on up here while we honor you. Hopefully I can get through this.
So Jeff says, he's already got one.
Am I going to be the only one?
Yes.
Okay.
Already got one lit.
How are you? You're in charge of that, by the way, now. I am totally kicking the bucket.
Yes. But I might take a day off, because I forgot to talk to you.
That's fine.
I'll forget, before you leave, you might have the money.
Oh, I'm not in Eric, he's probably down, I gotta go home.
We are now,
Yes.
You look better
I don't
on
think
this
we can
side.
get anybody else up here except for Shelby.
right? Nobody else. We have quite a group here today. So this is a great day because it's also National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So we couldn't have picked a better day to be able to honor someone who we think here in Rensselaer County is not only probably the best top law enforcement professional in Rensselaer County, but also a dear friend to many of us. So whereas it is a sense of our unique society to recognize the contributions and achievements of the citizens of Rensselaer County, we praise the career of a man whose example has enriched the lives of his residents in the county of Rensselaer. And whereas Pat Russo began his 28-year career with the Troy Police Department as an officer. After 10 years, Pat became a uniformed sergeant, serving in that capacity for 10 years before becoming detective sergeant, head of the Special Operations Narcotic Unit. And whereas while Pat was with the Troy Police Department, he supervised all narcotic investigations from street level to long-term multi-agency investigations and coordinated a task force with local, state, and federal agencies. On January 12, 2004, Pat began his career with the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office, serving as undersheriff for 12 years before being elected to serve as sheriff of Rensselaer County. And whereas during Pat's 48-year career in law enforcement, he received numerous commendations and accolades, including the Troy Police Department's highest honor, the John J. Givney Award, the Police Officer of Year in 1985. He was recognized by the Drug Enforcement Administration for outstanding contributions in the field of drug and law enforcement. He received 3 special honor awards from the International Narcotic Officers Association, letters of recommendation from the DEA administrator, honored by the New York State Division of Parole for Drug and Law Enforcement, and honored by the New York State Police Superintendent for dedication to law enforcement. And whereas throughout the years, Pat has also served on many boards and committees, including the City of Troy Labor Management Committee, and Charter Revision Committee. The Rensselaer County Alternatives to Incarceration Board, Rensselaer County Criminal Justice Advisory Board, the Police Instructor for Zone 5 Law Enforcement Academy, Vice President of the Troy PBA, Troy Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, Chair of their Public Safety Committee, and Chair of their Tenant Relations Committee. He has served the International Narcotic Officers Association Board of Directors and Board of Governors. He was chairman of the New York State Sheriff's Association Project Safe Child Advisory Committee, and a member of the FBI Albany Division Safe Streets Task Force, and finally, executive member of the FBI Albany Division Joint Terrorism Task Force. My God, when did you have time to do anything else? Whereas Pat's focus has always been on increasing enforcement in a coordinated effort with other agencies to attack the drug problem within Rensselaer County, enhancing current and developing new programs that focus on the most vulnerable members of our society, the young and the elderly, and also increasing involvement with the community to determine how the Sheriff's Office can better serve our citizens and work with community groups and elected officials to develop new ideas and strategies on how the Sheriff's Department can provide service in a cost-effective manner. And whereas Pat A. Russo has proven himself to be a forthright, devoted member of the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office and to all law enforcement agencies throughout Rensselaer County. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Rensselaer County Legislature does hereby gratefully acknowledge Sheriff Pat Russo for his distinguished and faithful service to the residents of Rensselaer County and joyously extends his best wishes on his future endeavors. Many of us up here are lucky to have known Pat for many years during our days of growing up in South Troy. And, South Troy is a tight-knit community, and so many people knew Pat growing up. And he also really served as a mentor to countless people in Troy and in the county. During his career, he, I'm sure, came upon some very hardened criminals. But there's also, if you know him, there's a softer side of Pat. So Pat's always been a phone call away, a text away if you need him. Anybody up here that knows him knows you can reach him day or night. But on a lighter side of Pat's career, I'm going to say you probably have attended hundreds, if not, thousands of annual parades throughout the county. And I know anytime I ever needed him in town, I'd say, Pat, can you send the motorcycles? Can you send the color guard? Can you guys, participate in the Memorial Day parade for us in town? And he always said yes. But what one event was our Halloween parade in North Greenbush. And he really took it upon himself to make sure that he was seen and known in the parade. He went out and bought his own Halloween costume. And so every year the kids would look for the werewolf in the Sheriff's Department card. And that was Pat. He wanted to make sure that that was a special event for the kids. On a personal level, I know he looked out for the men and women that worked for him, the people who served in blue. When you're married to somebody in law enforcement, you know that that spouse is not going to necessarily always be with you at every birthday party, on Christmas Eve, on special occasions, because you know that that person is on duty and they're dedicated to their career and to the residents that they serve. So I just want to make sure and acknowledge Pat for his dedication to the residents, but also to you, to your wife and your entire family, because all of you really shared him with us for so many years. And lastly, I just want to say to Pat that God bless you for everything that you've done. You have served and protected us for so many years, and now hopefully God will serve and protect you and keep you safe. So thank you so much for all your service and everything you've done for us. Been a great friend. So are there any other legislators who'd like to talk?
I just,
Go ahead.
I had the privilege to work with Pat for a number of years, and I didn't get to 48 years in criminal justice, but I did 37 and a half. But he is a great person, a great role model, a man of integrity, professionalism, and from my perspective, having worked in the field for as long as I did, he's one of the people I will always remember who guided me.
And I gotta say something here, because I have known Pat for a real long time. You know, a couple of years ago, my nephew got sworn in as a deputy sheriff, and my father was there. And everybody was talking, and my father was in his wheelchair, and he put his hand up. "Can I speak now?" he says. And then he says, Pat Russo is the best sheriff ever. And that was a big statement to say to Pat. It came from my father. But Pat, good luck, and I love you, and I love your family. God bless you.
I would just like to say, Pat, we haven't always agreed on some things, but I don't want you to think that that negates that we don't have the respect for the position that you have, and that we don't appreciate the work that you have done and the career that you have had. Just before coming over, we were talking about this happening tonight, and everyone in our caucus had very nice things to say about you, about the quality of the man that you are, and I wish you all the best going forward. Thank you very much.
I first met Pat. He was a junior at LaSalle. I was a freshman. He had a full head of hair. Things were a little different, but he was my company commander, which they teach you how to march in a parade. I don't know what it's all about, the military stuff. I didn't last long there, but Pat was a good guy there. He could have made my life difficult, and he didn't. He was a decent man. Is a decent man. I've known him through his career in the police department. I was a fireman. And we worked together several times. Decent guy, a good man. And as was just stated, when I agree with almost everything that Pat's done as police officer and sheriff. On the little disagreement, Pat and I, we have each other's phone number. We talked about it, and we agreed to disagree. I still respect the man, and I think the citizens of Rensselaer County, citizens of Troy, should feel good about the work that Pat has done for all of us. So thank you, Pat.
Absolutely. Come on up. I'm just gonna back this.
I pretty much agree with everything Pat has done throughout his career. As has been said, he's a good man, he's a decent man, he's a very loyal man, and nothing really epitomizes Pat's loyalty over the years is his status as the best and chief Green Bay Packer fan in the Capital District. So congratulations to your retirement. Go Pat.
Okay. Now I know you, and I'm going to ask you if you want to come up and say a couple of words.
I'm going to say 3 or 4 words.
Come on up.
I just want to say it's been an honor to serve the citizens of Rensselaer County and the citizens of Troy. And we've made some good accomplishments along the way. And I say we because everything that I've done that turned out to be pretty good is a team effort. whether it's with other agencies, whether it's with elected officials, men and women at the sheriff's office. You can't get anything done on your own, so you depend on people that work with you or work alongside of you. And that's what I've done over the years. I tried to groom those relations so that we'd have some positive results. So I hope I didn't let you down. Thank you. I'll be around.
Thank you all so much. Want to get a, yeah, let's get a, we try to get a.
Get some people up in the back.
Dave, you sit right in the front.
It's Kelly's speech.
Okay, and our next presentation is P 43923. This is a resolution commending Christopher Leahy upon being named Director of Operations for the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Rensselaer County. And this is a presentation by Legislator Fiacco. And anybody else that would like to join us?
You gotta stop with me.
Isn't he in your district now? Go to
Good evening. This is P 439. This resolution commending Christopher Leahy upon Director of Operations for the Boys and Girls Club in Southern Rensselaer County. Whereas, it is a sense of our unique society to recognize the contributions and achievements of the citizens of Rensselaer County, this legislative body acknowledges with profound respect and admiration such an individual, and whereas in attendance to such is concerned and fully accord with the longstanding traditions, it's the intent of the Rensselaer County Legislature to convey compliments and congratulations to Christopher Leahy upon being named Director of the Operations of the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Rensselaer County. Whereas, while Americans' youth face many difficult challenges, Boys and Girls Clubs continue their tradition in offering proven solutions that work. Whereas, clubs are a safe and positive, staffed by adults, professionals who enrich the programs for students, aged youth. Whereas Chris has served on the board in the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Rensselaer County for over 25 years. His experience with the youth in Southern County Central Schools Districts as a teacher and associate principal, and whereas with Chris' experience, will be able to inspire and enable young people to realize their full potential to become productive, caring, responsible citizens. Now therefore it be resolved that the members of the Rensselaer County Legislature pause in its deliberations to commend Christopher Leahy upon being named Director of Operations of the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Rensselaer County, and resolved
The clerk of the legislature will transmit an engrossed copy to Christopher Leahy. I gotta tell you that club that you have down there is, it's great. You guys are doing a great job down in Rensselaer. And I am proud to be a part of this tonight. I didn't know I was gonna read, but I'm glad I did, because this is one of my comrades that we go to Cape May every year. And you were a lot of fun down there with if you don't know, my daughter is married into a side that's, the political little opposite than we are. This guy would just rub it in all day long. It was kind of funny when I was down there, but it stays in Cape May, yeah, right? So anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm honored to be here. I'm proud to be a friend of his. And any other legislators want to speak?
Covered it, man.
I did? Oh, that's amazing. Chris?
Thank you.
You only got to go on for an hour and a half.
Thank you. I want to thank Leon for putting me, batting me second tonight, following a legend like Pat Russo. That's fun. But seriously, I do want to thank Legislator Stahl and Legislator Leon Fiacco for this commendation this evening. And I do want to take the opportunity, I know they're gone, but to congratulate Chief Sheriff Russo and his family on his fine career, but also thank him. I'm a lifelong resident of Rensselaer County and always been in tune to what's going on, not only in the city of Rensselaer where I grew up, town of East Greenbush now where I live, but always Rensselaer County. So I always been a fan and followed his career as best I could. Very quickly, because you folks have work to do this evening, and I know the weather's a factor. I was a club kid. I was a camp adventure kid. I worked there as a camp director. I worked at the club itself on 544 Broadway in Rensselaer. And now I'm very fortunate, after my career in education, to be back there as the director of operations, and I mean it when I say very fortunate, because it's a wonderful opportunity. It's a great job, and I'm proud to have it. So thank you, and thank you to the Rensselaer County Legislature tonight for this honor. Thank you.
No speakers. Nobody signed up.
Okay, we will call the regular meeting to order at 6:18. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Cassell? Mr. Choquette? Here. Ms. Doran? Present. Mr. Fiacco?
Here.
Mr. Fleming?
Here.
Mr. Genren?
Here.
Mr. Grant?
Present.
Mr. Grimm?
Here.
Mr. Harrington?
Present.
Mr. Loveridge?
Here.
Mr. Maloney?
Here.
Ms. Nichols? Here. Mr. Patiri?
Here.
Mr. Stahl? Ms. Weaver?
Here.
Mr. Wysocki?
Here.
Mr. Zaluski?
Here.
Chairwoman Hoffman?
Here.
There are 18 present and 1 absent.
Invocation, Mr. Grant.
Lord, help us to look at other people's needs before our own, and to always be ready to serve those around us by the power of your love within us. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Grimm.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Harrington.
Madam Chair, I move that we dispense with a reading of the minutes of the special meeting of December 19, 2023, and approve the minutes as printed.
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Okay, presentation of petitions.
On file?
Presentation of communications.
On file.
Reports of commissions.
On file.
Departmental reports.
On file.
Reports of standing committees.
On file.
Local laws.
None tonight.
G 124.
G 124, resolution authorizing an agreement with ARC of Rensselaer County for workforce development services for individuals with disabilities, Department of Employment and Training. Introduced by legislators Wysocki, Patiri, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 224.
G 224, resolution authorizing agreements for employment and training services for low-income youth, Department of Employment and Training. Introduced by legislators Wysocki, Patiri, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 324.
G 324, resolution authorizing agreements for Berkshire Farm Center and services for youth, Department of Social Services. Introduced by legislators Grant, Leverage, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 424.
G 424, resolution authorizing an agreement with Dr. Madi H. Patti for psychiatrist services, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Grant, Leverage, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 524.
G 524, resolution authorizing acceptance of Federal American Rescue Plan Act funding for on-the-job training programming, Department of Employment and Training, introduced by legislators Wysocki, Patiri, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 624.
G 624, resolution authorizing an agreement with Jensen Hughes, Inc. for life safety training, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Grant, Leverage, and Weaver.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 724.
G 724, resolution establishing the sole source status of various vendors representing manufacturers of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 824.
G 824, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 924.
G 924, resolution authorizing an agreement with Health Direct Institutional Pharmacy for pharmaceutical services, Van Rensselaer Manor, introduced by legislators Grant, Leverage, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1024.
G 1024, resolution authorizing the Rensselaer County Executive to enter into a contract for actuarial services relating to the valuation of employment, post-employment benefits for retirees, GASB-75, Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Bailey, Hoffman, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1124.
G 1124, resolution approving the Rensselaer County Investment Policy Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Bailey, Hoffman, and Grimm.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1224.
G 1224, resolution authorizing payment under the Children's Waiver Program, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Leverage, and Weaver.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1324.
G 1324, resolution authorizing snowmobile trail grant agreements and amending the 2024 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Weaver, Choquette, Jenner, and Nichols.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1424.
G 1424, resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds to municipalities as part of the Household Hazardous Waste Collection Events for 2024 Environmental Management, introduced by legislators Cassell, Choquette, and Zaluski.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. P 1524.
P 1524, resolution filling a vacancy on the Rensselaer County Health Board, introduced by legislators Hoffman, Leverage, Harrington, Grimm, and Doran.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes, 1 abstention, Mr. Stahl.
So moved. P 1624.
P 1624, resolution in memoriam of John Batty, introduced by legislators Stahl and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. P 1724.
P 1724, resolution adjourning the January 2024 legislative meeting in memory of Francis J. Giuliano Sr., introduced by legislators Hoffman, Bailey, Fiacco, Grant, and the entire legislative body.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1824.
G 1824, resolution authorizing extension of contracts with the New York State Board of Elections and amending the 2024 adopted Rensselaer County Budget Board of Elections, introduced by Chairwoman Hoffman.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 1924.
G 1924, resolution authorizing a grant extension and amending the 2024 Rensselaer County adopted Budget Board of Elections, introduced by Chairwoman Hoffman.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 2024.
G 2024, resolution authorizing a grant extension and amending the 2023 and 2024 adopted Rensselaer County Budgets Board of Elections, introduced by Chairwoman Hoffman.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 2124.
G 2124, resolution authorizing a grant extension and amending the 2023 and 2024 adopted Rensselaer County Budgets Board of Elections, introduced by Chairwoman Hoffman.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. And that is the list of resolutions. Do I have legislator privilege? Mr. Patiri?
Yes, P 1524 just stated that Mr. Stahl abstained. That is my abstention on that.
Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, I didn't know if it had to be done now or not. So.
Okay, yes. Thank you for that.
I don't know why I did that.
Mr. Gendron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to publicly come out and state my opposition for the even year election law that was just signed into law. I also think it's rather appalling that it was signed into law on a Friday before Christmas break where it really couldn't be addressed. So that being said, the implementation of this law is significantly going to increase the length of the ballots, which could lead to voter confusion. I feel it's going to dilute the local elections and the local laws. We really want uninformed voters that only come out on a national election to be voting on all the local candidates that maybe they're not informed of their positions and really not informed on the local issues. I would also like to say that this was initially put in to save money for the counties and the state. But overall, still on odd years, we still have the county clerks, the sheriffs, and the DAs that still need to have elections on those odd years. That's gonna take a New York constitutional amendment. And that hasn't even been passed yet or even voted on, so I don't know how that could possibly happen. Overall, the intent of this law is to streamline the elections and to allow for a larger voter turnout. But it inadvertently gonna harm the democratic process by hindering informed decision-making and local representation while disregarding the autonomy of counties and determining their own election process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gendron. Anybody else? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, man, it's a fight to the finish. Mr. Fleming? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Have a good night, everybody. Please be careful driving home. It's getting slippery out there.